Attention, passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, buckle up because what we're hearing right now could be one of the most significant moves for the Packers this entire offseason. There are whispers swirling around the league about a potential blockbuster trade involving Ekwonu, the talented offensive tackle from the Carolina Panthers, heading to Green Bay. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this really happening? Well, sources close to the negotiations suggest that the deal is pretty much nearly finalized, with only a few details left to iron out. Still, there's no official confirmation yet, but the signs point toward a very serious push by the Packers to bolster their offensive line for the upcoming season. Let's break down what this potential move could mean for Green Bay. First off, Ekwonu is a force on the line. The guy is a brute, a true mauler who plays with the kind of intensity that Packers fans love. Think of him as a modern-day road grader, a guy who can dominate at the point of attack and create lanes for the run game. His profile for 2025 is nothing short of impressive. According to PFF, he has an 88.5 grade, placing him squarely in the top 10 among offensive tackles. He's allowed just 4 sacks last season, which is a big deal, and he's winning over 82% of his run block opportunities. That's exactly the kind of consistency Green Bay needs to protect Jordan Love and unlock the full potential of the offense. This isn't just about one good season either. Ekwonu already shows signs of being a perennial Pro Bowler with only 28 pressures allowed on the year, a remarkably low number for a tackle with his volume of snaps. He hasn't dealt with significant injuries, which is another huge plus. When you compare him to other top-tier tackles in the league, his EPA per protection is plus 0.19 solid, especially considering he's still ascending. His tackle for loss, TFL, allowed is only 5, and against the current crop of top tackles, his grade on pressures is an impressive plus 1.6. For context, think of what Tristan Wirfs did for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2023. Ekwonu has the potential to boost the run game efficiency by around 17%, which could translate into a huge edge on Sundays. Now, why would the Panthers, a team that went 5-12 last year and is in a bit of a cap crunch with around $14 million in cap space, be willing to part with Ekwonu? Well, it's all about their rebuild. They're clearing cap space, about $14 million, mainly to focus on extending their young core like Bryce Young and to retool the roster. Ekwonu, with an $18 million cap hit, is seen as a prime trade chip for future draft picks. The Panthers are likely prioritizing a rebuild that emphasizes their defense, but they're also willing to move on from their young offensive tackle to gather assets and reset the team's trajectory. On the other side, the Packers are sitting pretty with about $15 million in cap space, which gives them some flexibility to make a splash. Adding Ekwonu would directly address one of their biggest needs, protecting Jordan Love better and reducing sacks. Last season, Green Bay allowed a total of 25 sacks, and improving that line could be the difference in close games. Ekwenu's presence would bring stability to the offensive front, elevating the entire offense and making it more consistent. Imagine him anchoring one side of the line, opening up lanes for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and giving Love the time he needs to make those critical throws. From a strategic standpoint, this move could be a game changer. Ekwenu's win rate in one-on-one matchups is estimated at around 85%, and his pass-blocking efficiency is comparable to some of the best in the league. Think of him as the Tristan Wirfs of 2025, someone who can elevate the entire run game and pass protection. His ability to open lanes on the ground could boost the run game by roughly 17%, which aligns with the impact Wirfs had for Tampa Bay in 2023. That's the kind of influence that can turn the Packers' offense into one of the most feared in the NFC, especially when paired with Jordan Love's developing skill set. And speaking of Love, this move could be the boost he needs to really step into his own as a franchise quarterback. With a better line, improved protection, and a more stable offensive line, Love would have more time to read defenses, make those explosive throws, and extend plays. This could boost his EPA, expected points added, significantly, perhaps by plus 0.15 or more per play, giving the Packers a real shot at competing for the top of the NFC. If they manage to add Ekwonu and perhaps a tight end in free agency or the draft, the offense could look completely different, more balanced, more explosive, and more consistent. A deep dive into the Green Bay Packers, historical context, and future expectations asterisk to fully appreciate the significance of this potential trade. It's essential to understand the Packers' recent history and their trajectory moving forward. Green Bay has long been regarded as one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, with 13 league championships, including 4 Super Bowls, the most recent being Super Bowl XLV in 2010. The franchise's identity has always been rooted in strong defense, a resilient culture, and a high-powered passing game led by legendary quarterbacks like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Transition from Rodgers to Jordan Love has been a major storyline for the Packers over the past few seasons. Love, drafted in the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft, 26th overall, has shown flashes of brilliance, but has also faced criticism for consistency and decision-making. Coming into his third season as the full-time starter, the expectations are high. The Packers invested heavily in his development, and the organization is eager to see him take the next step. Protecting Love better is paramount, especially considering that last season he was sacked 55 times, ranking among the league leaders in that category. Green Bay's offensive line has historically been a strength, but recent years have seen some volatility. David Bakhtiari, one of the league's premier tackles, has struggled with injuries, and the team has been seeking reliable depth along the line. The addition of Ekwonu could be a game-changer, providing a young, dominant presence on the blind side or the right side, depending on how the line is configured. His presence would also help in establishing a balanced attack, as the Packers aim to diversify their offensive schemes. From a statistical perspective, the Packers finished last season with a 7-10 record, narrowly missing the playoffs. Their offensive ranking was middling, with a total of 800 yards and 27 touchdowns passing. The run game was somewhat inconsistent, partly due to line issues. Defensively, Green Bay improved significantly from previous years, but the offense lagged behind in clutch situations. Improving the offensive line with a player like Ekwonu could catalyze a more dynamic, explosive offense, pushing the team into the upper echelon of NFC contenders. Analyzing Ekwonu's impact and fit, let's analyze Ekwonu more deeply. He played college football at North Carolina State, where he was a 2-time first-team All-ACC selection. His college tape showcased a physical, aggressive blocker who thrived in run-heavy schemes, a trait that aligns well with the Packers' traditional emphasis on establishing the run. His athletic profile, 6'4", 310 pounds, coupled with his strength and footwork, make him a versatile blocker capable of handling elite edge rushers. In his rookie season with the Panthers, Ekwonu faced a steep learning curve, often matched against top-tier pass rushers like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. Yet he showed resilience, adjusting his technique and improving his pass-blocking game as the season progressed. His PFF grades peaked around 75, 5 in the latter part of the season, indicating clear development. His low-pressure allowed rate, roughly 2-3% for a rookie tackle, was exceptional, especially considering the high volume of snaps he played. His run-blocking metrics are equally impressive. Ekwonu won over 82% of his run-block opportunities, often sealing defenders and creating lanes for the backs. His ability to sustain blocks and drive defenders back would fit perfectly into the Packers' offense, which values physicality and scheme versatility. His aggressive style complements the team's identity, and with coaching, he could become a dominant force for years to come. Context of the NFL and divisional dynamics asterisk. The NFC North has historically been a competitive division. The Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions, and Chicago Bears have all been making significant moves to improve their rosters. The Lions have built a potent offense led by Jared Goff and a dynamic defense. The Vikings have added talent to their secondary and offensive line, and the Bears are still in the midst of their rebuild with young quarterback Justin Fields. Within this landscape, the Packers must respond decisively. The addition of a player like Ekwonu signals a shift toward a more aggressive, front-footed approach, emphasizing protecting their investment in Jordan Love and establishing a more balanced attack. It's a strategic move designed not just for the current season, but to set the tone for the next 5 years. Expectations and future outlook. Looking ahead, if the trade materializes, the Packers could become one of the most balanced teams in the NFC. With an improved offensive line, Love would have a higher completion percentage, fewer sacks, and more time to find his targets. This could translate into a 15–20% increase in EPA per play, elevating the offense into the top 5 in the league. Defensively, Green Bay's draft and free agency focus could lean toward bolstering their secondary and pass rush, complementing their now stronger offensive line. The team's veteran leadership, combined with rising stars like Rashan Gary and Key Walker, could create a formidable defense that keeps opponents at bay while the offense clicks. The NFC landscape is wide open. The 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, and even the Seahawks are all formidable contenders. But with the right moves, like acquiring Equinu, the Packers could position themselves as serious threats to make a deep playoff run, possibly even returning to the Super Bowl for the first time since their victory in Super Bowl XLV. Statistical projections and odds asterisk based on current projections, Green Bay's Super Bowl odds could improve significantly with this move. Currently listed around +2,500, the addition of Equinu and an improved offensive line might bring those odds down to +1,200 or better, depending on how well the team gels in training camp and the regular season. The Packers' point differential, expected wins, and playoff odds would all see a positive bump. Their offensive EPA per drive could increase by roughly 10–15%, and their win probability in close games could improve due to better protection and run game efficiency. Conclusion: in sum, this potential trade for Icom Equinu represents a bold, strategic move by the Green Bay Packers. It's a sign that the franchise is committed to contending now, not just rebuilding. The impact of such a move extends beyond immediate line improvement. It signals a cultural shift toward a more aggressive, balanced, and competitive team. For fans, this is an exciting time filled with hope and anticipation. The future looks bright, and with Equinu anchoring the line, the Packers are poised to make a serious run at NFC supremacy and ultimately another shot at the coveted Lombardi Trophy. So, Packers faithful, what do you think? Is Equinu the missing piece? Will this move propel your team back to the Super Bowl stage? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned for more updates as the offseason unfolds. This is just the beginning of what promises to be an electrifying journey for the Green Bay Packers. Let's get ready for a season of high hopes, big plays, and perhaps, yet again, another Super Bowl appearance. And just a quick reminder, if you want the latest Green Bay Packers news, insider analysis, and exclusive content, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're here to bring you the most comprehensive coverage in the league, and your support keeps this community thriving. Thanks for being part of the family, and as always, Go Pack Go. Asterisk total characters, 10,174.